Russia's Big Incognity in Kate Middleton's Cancer Communique by William and Charles III. Since Kate Middleton made her statement yesterday that she had cancer, the British and international media are echoing the news, trying to collect all the reactions, and some getting a little involved in the conspiracy, and how badly the media offices of King on Palace when it comes to addressing the topic. However, some opinion articles from serious newspapers from all countries curiously include references to Russia, a topic that we have been talking about on this channel and that could have precipitated the creation of this video. Things are not done from one day to the next, and obviously everything has its intention. Here in Spain, I'm going to read an article from the newspaper La Vanguardia, where it refers precisely to Russia. This country had Kate Middleton's medical reports. Putin was behind that hacking of the London clinic. Well, it seems that the thing is a little guessed in that direction. We are going to analyze this one of many, but the truth is that I think it clears up unknowns that the journalists of the Royal is broken and international surrogates are not able to respond. Everyone says how well Kate has done. She has kept quiet, which is what we needed. Well, that is a bit of the courtly plan. Those who use a little more critical thinking, as I say, they are aiming at a topic of geopolitics and of things that would already come out a little of the tiesto of what would have to do. Even that, we are no longer talking here about Camilla against the children of Lady D. Not here. It seems that the thing could be more fat girl. I'm going to read part of this article. Winston Churchill said that the missing Soviet Union was a riddle wrapped in a mystery within an enigma. And the same can be said a couple of months ago of the British royal family, just like the matrimony houses, those dolls' hollow Russians that emerge one inside the other. Something similar happens with the Windsor, only that instead of figurines, what appear are secret questions and surprises, many perhaps too many, under enormous pressure to clarify the reason for their long absence. The Palace published that video yesterday of Kate filmed on Wednesday by the BBC, in which she explains with a good appearance, I am reading a text that suffers from cancer and is undergoing preventive chemotherapy. All this is a coup d'effect. It generates a wave of sympathy from people, sympathy and empathy for the announcement of an illness, and even more so in the case of a princess, whom the British press treats in a soft manner. Well, sometimes I add this, but of course, numerous and delicate questions arise. The main one of which is because, expressly or tacitly, the Kensington Palace has maintained throughout this time for about 9 weeks that Kate's problem was not related to cancer, when in the end it turns out that yes, the excuse we have been given is that she was informed at the end of February. But of course there was also informative silence since January that they had already been speculating with 50,000 things until February, that is a month and a half, where they had time to act. It seems to me that in this sense, and I pause in the article, and something unforeseen has presented itself. In this sense, and for which they have probably had to take a step forward. Kate, 3 weeks ago, I was not in a position to make any video or express anything at all. There is even talk that all the photo montages were smoke screens with the aim of looking away from other topics. How can it be? Well then, the fact that since October of last year, 2023, Putin put Carlos Hierro's family in the spotlight after positioning himself in favor of Ukraine, asking for an end to the conflict. At that time, there were also reports from official media that right now, I'm not going to say that they are silent, because there are some that do collect this type of information, but they do not allude to anything that has to do with Russia or any theory in this regard. The thing could be worse trying to square the circle. The Princess of Wales presented in the video a chronology in which a surgical intervention is scheduled. An intestinal problem is not suspected to have to do with cancer. She undergoes at the London clinic on January 17, and from there, after the fact, the tests suggest that if there is a totally unexpected cancer problem, today more is known than yesterday about what is happening to Kate, and part of the enigma has been revealed. But the questions remain numerous, and it happens. Yes, practically a month until that intervention, that operation, is given. Then there was an original intervention. What happened during that entire month? Kate has not appeared since Christmas. Why was it already said before finding out that it was cancer? that she would be away from public life for the time being, at least until after Easter, an error that I describe as brutal, that a prognosis cannot be made. I don't know who would be in charge or if there were really things under the rug. Why is it that every time he was asked about his state of health, the palace spanked him? He referred to the original statement that stated that his problem was not cancerous. There have been lies, the truth has been lacking. There is some issue of national and international security that surrounds the Windsors, because the parallelism that also occurred with King Charles is surprising. That he was also detected with cancer unexpectedly, and in his case without detailing what it was. He showed more transparency. However, it was not the case with Kate. They say that everything was hidden from the subjects, from the people who have to the professional environment that surrounds both Kate and William. And it is no coincidence that all the media criticized that absence in the Mass of Constantine in Greece. I already said that I was surprised by how vehement they were with that. Let's say, instead of being critical of other things, that it wasn't a mass, well, it was institutional stuff. Stuff that was distant families, meeting of royalty. But well, and at the time he also explained that it was because one of the children threw a tantrum, and that William had to be there. And while the Princess of Wales has explained that all this has been a trauma, that she has needed time to accept it, to explain it to her children, George, Charlotte, and Louise, and concentrate a little on the things that really matter. It is giving his first steps in his search for his physical and mental well-being. He appreciates the expressions of affection. He asks for time, space, and understanding. He does not want to give more details, and he sends one last message to people who are going through a similar situation. You are not alone. Do not lose faith and hope. In the end is an approximation of Kate Middleton, who at a given moment says, "Watch out, I'm here. Don't forget me." Now, experts in body language appear. Even in facial language that says his face, that says his metal language E, but the people don't go any further. No, this is a bit of the information that there is a bit of searching by the media to offer. Curiously, within all this, it is added that at the same moment that Kate Middleton makes this statement, one of the biggest attacks in the history of Rus, 115 people, and still counting, died in the attack on the Crocus Concert Hall in Moscow and local media in Russia. The same ones that just a week ago reported the false news of the death of King Carlos Io. They point to citizens of Tajikistan as suspects. In fact, they say that 4 alleged attackers have been arrested, but that some have fled Russia and the United Kingdom are intertwined again in this paradox that mixes a little international politics and the English monarchy. What is Putin's role behind everything, behind all this? Well, since the beginning of the week, since the middle of 2 or 3 days ago, that was when we revealed that there were some things that didn't quite add up to us regarding that London clinic hack, where, somehow they talked about hacking, and in fact they located it within the staff of the clinic itself, something that can directly destroy the prestige of an institution, such as a private hospital, where all the high society of the United Kingdom goes. Very private and very expensive, and also official hospital of the royal family. Well, with these, and from the little that has been published, from the conjectures that have been made, it is said that these people, rather than being the perpetrators, could be accomplices and could even be subjected to a kind of blackmail on the part of these supposed Russian hackers. And if this has been what precipitated Kate Middleton's statement, I think we will not know, at least for the moment, but it is still a significant fact. The way in which the news has been escalating for a week here, in fact, the topic of Kate Middleton has been talked about since January, but it has been the more traditional media, the official media, that have taken up the topic for 15 days, partly because it gives an audience, partly also because I think there has been a kind of interference, if you ask me, in the case of Spain. I think it has only been done by audience, because in addition they have explained things late and badly in most cases yesterday, even while some of us chose not to give a name. I ought to maintain a certain respect to that statement, in which I personally, until they tell me otherwise and don't provide me with evidence, I believe that the one that appears in the video, it is indeed Kate Middleton. I do believe the cancer issue, and I opt a little by this third way. If it can be called a conspiracy, it is more related to what it would have to do with a kind of Russian blackmail that would not be the first time. We know Vladimir Putin. We have been putting up with it for about 25 years. The rest of the world? And we know that one of his favorite pastimes is wanting to bring countries to their knees against what he calls Mother Russia. Yes, he has done this with the Windsors. At first, we couldn't find why, and then the newspaper archive tells us that in October 2023, Russia and this man already had the Windsor family in their sights. They have gone with the element that also has the best public image. Let's not forget that of all these people, and despite what the British media may say in the end, Kate Middleton in Tourmaline. This sense achieves a little more people's sympathy than Camilla, her own husband, or King Charles himself. 0 from here on.